On the mic with Mike. On the mic, Miss Mike. I'm on the mic with Mike. He's like a guru. No, he's a businessman with a great radio show. And he supports the nonprofits.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike, the premier business radio program around. That's who we are. That's what we do. This is ESPN Richmond 106.1. That is part of the Mike King's Radio Network. Every day from 5 to 7 a.m. The Choice 105.3 every day from 2 to 3, as well as International Business Growth Radio. We'd like to thank you for joining us. On the Mic with Mike, we highlight partnerships, people, social enterprise. We showcase how business can help society be better. That's what we do every day. So you can follow us. We'd like to thank our show sponsors who help us stay on the air. So you'll be hearing them during the show. Make sure you give them a shout out there. One of the last ones to come on is Capital Ale House. We'd like to thank our good friends over there as well as Brian and Stratton, where I'm every Friday. So if you ever get a chance, we'd also like to thank our good friends down at the Hilton downtown. Well, that's where we do Women Speaking Sports. But you know what happened? We left the light on. Friends of the family came home. Very nice space here. Our good friend, Dr. Sarah from Friendship Circle is back in the building. Welcome back, Doc.
Thank you, Mike.
Already time goes by because the last time I saw you, I saw online that you were having a baby.
Oh, that was
you were having a baby. And then all of a sudden, I see you. I'm like, oh, you had a baby. Okay. But some months had gone by. Now you're telling me that your baby isn't really a baby anymore, almost 1 year old.
He's like 13 months, little Ben.
What?
He's a rock star.
You know, the question is, time flies. And what we're here to talk about, once we're going to get the elevator pitch for Friendship Circle out of the way, which is it's an ultra cool organization. We're here to talk about big news. Big news. But this is big news that's been in the works for a while. This was a big deal in 2020. And then
it's like a little anticlimactic, but it's still super exciting.
It's a big deal because there was a lot of build up to it. It was going to be huge. It was going to be humongous. And then this thing called COVID stepped in and we all got sent home.
That is absolutely right.
Good thoughts and great ideas have a way of hanging around.
Love it.
All righty. So tell everybody who you guys are. It's a business show. Who are you? What do you do?
All right, so I am Sarah. I'm the director of Friendship Circle of Virginia. We are a local nonprofit organization, and we help to build an inclusive community, one friendship at a time. That's our motto, and it translates to all parts of life. What we do specifically is we pair children and young adults with disabilities together with teenagers without disabilities and young adults. And our goal is to really bring people together for friendship and for fun in a way that they may not have done before that. So sometimes you don't always get to meet people that you aren't in your circles. And this is a chance for everyone to meet a new friend. And we really are careful. We don't call our teenagers volunteers. We call them friends. Our kids with disabilities and their families are friends.
Everybody's friends.
Everybody is friends. So we're all meeting somebody new and equally benefiting and having a fantastic time.
One of the things that we talked about when I first met you was that a family has disability. Sometimes it's not the medical things. The medical things are taking, there's a community for medical stuff. But it's the friendship part. That's the part that we may not even think about.
It's so true. You know, I'm a physical therapist by trade, actually. So I specialize in infants and toddlers with developmental delays and disabilities. That's kind of been my world for many years. And what's fascinating is that I used to go into people's houses all the time and treat their kids for months on end, for weeks on end. And you're right. The medical piece is there. We've talked about that. There are studies done, but the friendship piece, the social piece, that's the part that is really hard, right? It's hard to put your finger on it. It's hard to find metrics and measures. You know, how good is this friendship? I think about my own friendships, right? How does it rate? How good is it going? So what's really interesting is that we sometimes leave that one to the side and we don't always think about it. We hope that it happens. And there's lots of amazing organizations that are intentionally making it happen. But at Friendship Circle, that's all we do. And what happens is that when you actually get people together that haven't met before, you start building inclusion and understanding in a way that you just haven't before. And it's different. You're right. It's different than medical treatment. It's different than creating a specific event that talks about inclusion. These are ongoing, constant events throughout the school year in kids' homes. They're intimate, they're real, and they continue for years. And that's that's different and that's special.
So when you were going there as a physical therapist, you're going, Dr. Sarah's coming. That became a visit. That became something big for the family, but you kind of wonder how many people who come there are there for our child. So when did you realize that you were the friendship person in that equation?
The good news is that Friendship Circle, although we are completely independent and homegrown and totally local, Friendship Circle is actually an international organization. It was started 30 years ago in Detroit, and there's amazing friendship circles with thousands of members doing incredible things all over the country and all over the world, all the way as far as Australia and Sydney. They're doing just incredible stuff. And so what's great is that I heard about this before.
Oh, you did?
I did. So I heard about it. And then as you see it on the ground and when you're really involved in it, you're like, oh my gosh, I now understand just how important this is. And let's figure out how we can make it happen. And so I'm lucky and humble enough and humbled and lucky enough to be in this position to be running it locally.
So when a person says to you, hey, my name's Mike, you say, my name's Sarah, and they say, what are you doing? And you say, you run Friendship Circle. What's the look on people's faces? It's like, what is that?
Yep. And they're like, oh, and then when you explain it, they're like, that sounds cool.
It does sound,
right?
What did I say? I'm like, yeah, that sounds really cool. All righty. So back a couple of years ago, this is when I'm a real senior citizen now, but this is when I was before being a real senior citizen. I was only 59 in those days. I was just a young, spry guy. Right. And so all of a sudden, you had this idea that you were going to have this big event at the Diamond. There was a big buildup. It was going to be great.
You know what? I'm going to have to give credit where credit is due, because that's actually almost how it happened, but there's a piece missing.
Okay.
Here's the piece that's missing. We actually had a fantastic sponsor who is the main sponsor of Inclusion Day at the Diamond, which is coming up, which I'll mention in a minute. And that is Fastmart.
Fastmart really likes you guys.
They
wonderful. Really, I was waiting to say, I know it's Fastmart, but you know how I get off track. What is it about Fastmart that sees and gets it with you guys?
You know what? It's a really good question. Fastmart, the gentleman that we met there, his name is Ari Cutler. He was the CEO, and now they're a larger corporation. I think they just hit Fortune 500. I'm not going to speak on behalf of Fastmart, but they're doing some really good work. And they have a new person there, and we've been working with them for a couple of years. And when we met with them, they've been doing things for the Muscular Dystrophy Association for years already. So I think there might be a connection somewhere in the company, or maybe there's a family member. But when we got there, we talked to them about Friendship Circle, and we said, we're this great organization. Would you like to be a sponsor of whatever we're doing? And I think it was Ari who was like, why only little things? Why are we not doing NASCAR? Why don't we do big things? And I was like, okay, hold on. I'm not ready to do NASCAR yet. And that's where we ended up, actually. He was like, well, what about the Diamond? And that's how this actually started. So credit where credit is due.
That's a big deal.
It was a big deal. And, it takes big thinkers, and it takes people that are willing to make it happen. So we are incredibly grateful to Fastmart for making this happen. They were our partners when Inclusion Day at the Diamond was supposed to happen before COVID in 2020, and then it got shut down. And here we are. We're finally here. This is the announcement.
Their name pops up in a lot of things that you guys do. The bowling, the walks in the park.
That's right.
You and Fastmart. That's what we talk about here, ladies and gentlemen. Businesses that get it, that understand that business can help society be better. That's it.
It's totally true. And we are so grateful. And it's interesting as a consumer, when I see a business that has their name on nonprofit events or supports community members and just supports our community and our people, that's where I want to spend my money. That's the places I want to go to. And we know those studies prove that. And it's really true. So we are certainly incredibly grateful. Our families are grateful. But we got some other sponsors as well that came.
We got to show them some love.
Let's do that.
All right, but okay, so now here we go. This is the announcement.
Here we go.
That was I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the punchline.
It was. No, okay, forget it. I'm not even. Exactly, that's what I'm looking for. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sarah here with the big announcement.
So we are so excited to announce yet again the first ever Inclusion Day at the Diamond coming up August 21st. That is a Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Is the game. There are going to be first pitches. There is going to be a sensory area that's quiet. There's a whole picnic table area for those who've been to the Diamond. All that is going to be a sensory space with activities and just tons of fun stuff. We're going to have a sensory friendly gate to enter the park, so you don't have to come through the mass of people that are coming through the front gate. There are going to hopefully be ASL, sign language interpreters. We're working on some other services for the hearing impaired. We have a wonderful gentleman who has a disability and is a rock star who's going to be singing the national anthem. What else do we have going on? Oh, a really exciting thing is that for the first time, we are working together with the squirrels to create sensory backpacks. So those are going to be a bunch of backpacks, somewhere around 40 to 50 backpacks that from now on are going to be available at guest services. So from now on, anytime somebody goes to a game and they want a child or an adult that wants fidgets or sensory items or something to do during a baseball game at their seat, can go to guest services. They can check out the sensory backpack, and now they're going to be able to take it to their seat, use it during the game, and it's got tons of stuff in it: fidget cubes, lap pads, seek and finds, all sorts of cool stuff. And then they can return it. And so this is the day that that's going to start, and it's going to be there forevermore. So there's a lot of fun stuff really happening. We're very excited.
Shout out to Parney and the squirrels. That's a big deal. I mean, when a business looks at it and really tries to make a difference in the community, and it's being inclusive. So you guys are also giving away a ton of tickets as well.
Minor detail.
Thank
you for mentoring. 10,000 free tickets we are giving out to the entire Richmond community. We're giving them away. Our goal is to give them away through the disability organizations, right? We know there's so many great organizations in town. I'm not going to name any, but they're doing such great work. And they target all of our families, our kids, our adults. There's so much to do. So we are working with all those organizations. We have well over 30 plus at least on our list. And we're working with them to give them as many tickets as they want. And they get to give them out to their members, to their families, to their staff, to their board members, everyone who's involved, both in the disability community and in the mental health community.
When you looked at this right there and you go to Fastmark and you said, let's take this big, look, you said it takes big thinkers. Where did this idea, because that's a big deal for you right here. This is a very big deal. How did this event come to be?
Well, that's what happened, right? We were trying to figure out what we can do, at Friendship Circle. Here, I'll go back even. Friendship Circle, I mentioned about friendship. And what I've learned in working in Friendship Circle for over 10 years is that friendship translates to every part of our life. And it doesn't, everybody has and needs friends. Whether it's me as a mom during COVID, that's my big one lately. That was really hard, right? It's still sometimes hard. And having friends that you can count on and be with and understand you and get you is really important. And when that comes to dads, to single, I mean, it just across the board, right? We all need friends that we can rely on, and where we have a place that we feel like we belong and that we matter and someone cares about us. And so taking the message of Friendship Circle beyond just our own crowd, just beyond our kids, beyond our teens, beyond our families, has always been important to Friendship Circle. So being able to take this out now to the entire community and highlight why inclusion, understanding, support is important is really part of our mission. It's what we do. So this was something that we're really excited and proud to be a part of and to be hosting. And we're excited that we have 8 big sponsors that are coming on board to make it happen. And I would love to mention them as well, because they're part of making this happen.
Here we go. Showing love to the sponsors. I always say the microphone ain't free, plus our grandkids need stuff. So let's show some love to the sponsors.
I'm going to read it out loud just so I make sure I don't forget anyone. You ready?
Forget anyone.
So on those 10,000 free tickets that we're giving out, there are 8 sponsors on each of those tickets. And we are grateful and excited that they are on board and that they want to be on board, right? This is important to them, to their company, to their people. And so we are really excited. And they are Abilene Motor Express, Allianz Partners, Altria Rise, and Dominion ERGs. Those are their employee resource groups that have been fantastic in helping us out. Elephant Insurance, the Jewish Community Federation of Richmond, the Partnership for People with Disabilities at VCU, the Rutland Torah Academy Jewish Day School, and Truist Bank. Those are our 8 sponsors that believe that inclusion is vital and important, and they want to be a part of this. I want to add, we have a couple other smaller sponsors that are helping us out with that sensory area I mentioned, and they're helping to fund some of the backpack stuff and some of the things that we're going to be able to give out to all these, to the kids or to adults that want to come and take a break during the game. I know for sure my kids will be there, that's for sure. And that is Markel, it's Score, this indoor soccer place. And the Backpacks is a wonderful company that just came on board called Yes to Life. They are a boutique financial advisory group.
Are they local?
They are local. I just found out about them too.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So we are still looking for one more sponsor to help us out with some of that sensory stuff if anybody wants to join the crowd. But in the meantime, we are grateful that this is happening. We are excited to be doing it. And I know we've already I think we just launched it last week and we already have almost 1,000 tickets that are already called for. And people are excited. We're getting families who are saying, oh my gosh, I've never gone to a squirrel game because it's been too overwhelming or because the lights were too flashy. What can you do this time? And now they're coming. They're going to come to this game. So there's really cool stuff coming up.
There you go, our friend Dr. Sarah. We got to take a break. I always say the microphone ain't free, plus my grandkids do need stuff. So we'll be back in just a moment because I'm going to take you through the history of my idea of Friendship Circle and the changes they've made and overcome when, the world shut down. They didn't. They kept moving and kept helping out. We'll be back in just a moment.
All Mike King's a businessman. He's a businessman with his own talk show. On the mic with Mike. He's the best business radio program in the game.
Hi, well, you know who I am. Make sure you check out my man, Mike King Biz. His program, On the Mic with Mike Orvier, is the best business-ish radio program in Orvier. Mike King Biz Radio can be heard on ESPN Richmond 106.1 and The Choice 105.3. Me and Minnie listen every day, and you should too.
From Michael Mike's. From the Michael Mike's. Michael Mike's. My name is Isabel, and you're listening to Mike King Biz. Hubby, that's my scam.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. That is a rock star lineup that ended up with my grandkids. Like I said, I don't know why they can't get the name of the program right. It's On the Mic with Mike, but they're like Mike, whatever. You're listening to On the Mic with Mike, ESPN Richmond. It's part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network. ESPN Richmond, 5 to 7 a.m. The Choice 105.3 every day from 2 to 3, as well as International Business Code Radio. We talk to the game changers out there. So we're talking to our good friend, Dr. Sarah from Friendship Circle. All righty, Doc. So I'm going back in the day, now I sound like the old man, back in the day, you guys, great idea. You went to kids' homes. Yes. Friends went and that was a perfect world. I went to there. I saw, my friend, we were happy. Everything was great. Great business model, right?
It was.
Okay. COVID stepped in. You and your organization had to change.
That's right.
What did you do and how did you continue to maintain that?
It's a really good question. So with our kids with disabilities and our teenagers, the interesting thing is that when the world shut down for a minute, so did we, right? We had to figure out, what are we going to do? Because we were all in person. That was the magic. That was a secret sauce. Exactly. In person all the time, every week in each other's homes, and every month as part of a birthday program that we run. So everyone can celebrate their birthdays with friends in and out around the community. And suddenly we couldn't do anything. And on our board are lovely people, including a group of doctors who were like, nope, can't meet in person. Nope, can't meet in person. So we were just stuck. So like everybody, we adopted Zoom and we started doing Friends at Home, which is our program in the homes. And we started doing that virtually. And for some kids, it was amazing. And for our teenagers, it was even more amazing. They were like, fantastic. I don't have to worry about scheduling. I don't have to worry about driving. We can just hop online. That's our happy place. But for our kids and our families, for some of them, it was great because they got to play video games together online. That was fun.
Okay.
And for some of our kids, it was terrible. They really could not sit in front of a computer and listen to somebody else talk. They needed the in-person connection. And so what's interesting is that during COVID, we actually jumped in numbers. We had tons of new teenagers because they weren't in school full time that were like, hey, give me something to do. So our teenagers joined, we got lots of those. And then we had lots of families join on because now we could serve families that were way outside of our, exactly. We could take families from Australia if we wanted. And we did. We had a young adults program that met every Sunday for a while. And we got kids from literally all over the country that joined in. And then after that kind of wore off, because everyone, it was exciting in the beginning and then it wore off. And then one of our previous employees who Dana, I actually created a program called Friends with Pens that's still going on now. And Friends with Pens is basically an actual in the mail writing something fun to your friend. And that was fun because people didn't want to see a screen anymore. And so we had our teenagers write letters to our kids, and they were, if they wanted, they could write back. And that's something that we're still working on and still is going through. We give them templates and it says, my favorite superhero, all sorts of cool stuff. So we've done a lot of things in person and we are so excited to now be going back. We did a lot of things virtually. Now we're so excited.
All righty. The diamond, let's talk about that one last time.
So actually, we have a great hashtag, Inclusion Day RVA. And in fact, you can go to inclusiondayrva.com. You can get your free tickets there, sign up, be a part of it. If you would like to sponsor, get in touch with us at Friendship Circle of Virginia. You can find us online. You can find us pretty much anywhere, friendshipcircleofvirginia.org. And we are just excited to bring the community together. August 21st, 1:30 p.m. game. There's going to be lots of people there. There's going to be lots of activities. We're giving things away to the first, 1,000 people that show up. So come be part of it, tell your friends, and we are just excited to make this happen.
All righty, Dr. Sarah. She'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do here. She'll be back another time to remind us with an update. So on the mic of Mike, the best business radio program around. We got to go. Robert's looking at me with the eye like, all right, the time is running down. On the mic of Mike, ESPN Richmond, that's where you find us. Take care, folks. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, Mike.
That's segment 3 too.